time this morning as we take this next step in our basketball program. A little over a week ago, Coach Barron shared with me his decision to retire, and what that did for us, to steal a football metaphor from one of my former coaches, was a sudden change. We had to quickly look at our situation, assess where we were as a program and the steps that we've made with the program. And I know John mentioned some of the things that the young men in the room have already accomplished, but certainly Jim Barron and the staff and what they've brought to us over the last 4 years, we appreciate where it's brought our program to and position us for where we are moving forward. In looking at this, people will often say, and I know the question will come later, wow, that was quick. And I would say that what we had to do is we had to look at where we were. We had to look at, and always considering the young men in our program and the status of our program. They are in summer school. Many of them are here right now. A few guys are in class right now. But there's only about 5 weeks of a summer session before they leave for the summer. And to give those young men and the new coaching staff the best opportunity to meet, assimilate, and understand each other, time was of the essence. There's recruiting to be done, and that also was something that we wanted to fully make sure we were aware of and try to make sure we provided as much opportunity moving forward as we can to the new staff. Many of the same candidates who we spoke to in the previous search were very interested in this search again. A job in our conference, a job at the Division I level is one that there's always going to be a lot of interest for, and the Canisius job is no different. We were able to quickly assess that, our candidate pool and the people that are there. And I often tell people we look at every search uniquely. Every one is different at every time, but we have to figure out what is best for our program. But there are a few things that we always look for. One of those factors I look for is familiarity with Western New York and the city of Buffalo. People who possess that is always helpful for us in recruiting and understanding our program. Understanding the history of Canisius College and the tradition of our program. And also a coach with a record of head coaching success if we can find that. And I think in Coach Witherspoon, we can say we found someone who fits all of those roles. I had the opportunity to work with Reggie for 6 years at the University of Buffalo. And we've gone through some trying times there, and we've laughed a little bit about some of the things and how far we've come and what we've learned in that process, I think, is probably most important. But I've also watched him over the 16 years that I've known him from when I left the University of Buffalo, and I watched him become a better coach during the time he was there to learn and grow, but also learn how to become a better coach. And not only myself and my assessments of things, but certainly my colleagues and many people who hold Coach Witherspoon and his coaching abilities, his recruiting abilities, and his ability as a person in very, very high regard. I watched him lead a program, recruit and develop student athletes, which is one of the things that is critically important to what we're going to do. I found it impressive that when he left the University of Buffalo, he continued his coaching career. As one of our other coaches here used to say, coaching's not a job, it's a disease. And people love to coach, and that's what they want to do all the time. And I think Coach Witherspoon is one of those people who felt that, wanted to continue that, and took that on as he went down and became an assistant coach. And I think he's learned, and he expressed that he learned a tremendous amount in how to become a better coach through being an assistant coach, and also will ultimately make him a head coach. In Reggie, I believe we found a person who's uniquely positioned to take over our program at this time, to build it, and to build a program that can sustain what we've started already, to compete for championships, and to do that in a manner which is representative of what Canisius College is all about. It's my pleasure to introduce the 24th basketball coach, Reggie Witherspoon.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank everybody for their support of the program. As I look back and I look out here, there's a lot of people that I've had the pleasure of coaching or being a part of their lives, or them being a part of my life at every step. So I'm looking back and seeing a lot of years and a lot of smiling faces, and I'm really appreciative of that. I'd like to thank President Hurley and the Board of Trustees, and Bill Meyer, for trusting me to come back and lead this program. It really is an honor to be here. I have a lot of memories growing up about Canisius basketball, and some of those people who played when I was a child are here today, and I'd like to thank them for their support as well. I'd like to thank my family. I think it's unusual for Division I coaches to be in a situation where you're at a press conference and you have a mom here, my mom's here, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my wife, my two daughters, my sister-in-law, my brother. it's unusual to be that way because usually you're not in your hometown, and it's an honor to have that kind of support and love and care here today. So it's also a pleasure to see the coaches who've been here running this program, the players who are here today, and the ones that want to be here. I'm certainly appreciative of everything that you've done. Appreciative of the effort that Jim Barron put into this program. Anytime you can see a coach who has come, coached, and given his life 39 years to the game. I've known Jim Barron since I was a teenager, and he's put a lot of time and a lot of effort into our game. So when we can see him leave, retire, and be in good health, that's truly an honor, and certainly a lot of respect goes to Jim Barron. I have some former players here. I think at just about every stop, other than the ones at Alabama and the ones at Chattanooga, I see former players from when I coached high school and junior college and at UB. So thankful to those people for coming out. I'm glad that I'll be here for them, be able to spend some time. Have some good friends who are high school coaches who are here, and high school administrators, and thankful to them as well. Just really thankful. A lot of people here and a lot of people that wanted to be here reached out to me over the years that we were away, and kind of kept us in touch. And really thankful for that encouragement, and thankful to see them here and to be able to see them more in the future. There's some former players here that I don't want to start naming some because I'll leave off some. But it's great to see them here. I plan on engaging them as much as possible, and call on a few to get all the rest. So really appreciate everyone's support, everyone taking the time out of their day to come here and support Canisius College basketball. Thank you.
And I'll take questions from the media for Coach Witherspoon, and from there we'll move the process along. So if anyone has them, fire away.
But how special is it to be able to come back home, be able to coach in your own backyard again?
It's an awesome privilege to be able to do that. Thank God for the opportunity to do that. Anytime you can come back to a place you're familiar with, that you grew up in, it really is a blessing, and I'm excited about it.
What would you say, as you considered this, what are the strengths of the Canisius program that you feel like makes it a good job for you to take?
The first thing I think about is that Canisius College has been doing Division I basketball for a long time, and it's not a starter situation. It's just a rough road ahead. The timing is not great, but it's a program that has been in existence for a long time, and you have a lot of alumni who are in the area that care about the program, and I think that's a plus. I want to, before the next question too, I want to thank our mayor, Byron Brown, for being here. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here. Thank you.
Reggie, you're also coming home to head coaching. You've always been a head coach, 2 years as an assistant. What did that teach you?
I learned a lot, Jerry. That's a great question. Just, the difference is that obviously when you're an assistant coach, you're making suggestions, and you're more inclined to make decisions as a head coach. But I learned a lot about another way of approaching and leading the program, and being connected to Anthony Grant and Matt McCall. I want to thank those guys too. They have been tremendous for me, and great learning launch for me. So and Billy Donovan as well. Both of those guys work for. I want to thank those people because it's been great. I learned a lot about just preparing, style of play, everything, every aspect of it, and we'll be able to implement all of that here. No, but certainly learn from all of it.
What do you want to say about how you want to play the game?
Well, we're going to take a good look at what we have in place, the young men that we best way for us to play for them to be successful. And we'll slowly implement some of the things that we think are good in the way we see the game. But we'll take some things that, certainly some of Coach Donovan's ways, and Coach Grant, Coach Paul, and we'll blend those with the things. And we've been doing that even in Alabama and Chattanooga. We'll blend those with the things that we've been able to develop. And I think it'll be an exciting brand of basketball.
Reggie, what do you think it'll be like that first time you play against UB after coaching there for so many years, putting so much into that program, being on the other end?
Man, that took a little longer than I thought that question was going to be the first question. Although I thought it was going to be the first question, I know the good thing, one of the positive things, is that there's so many things that we have to do, like immediately, that I haven't given a lot of thought to that. But one of the things that you have to do when you're going into any game is you have to try to play the game the way we practice the game. And so we can't, I don't think, get too caught up in the emotion. We want to play with the emotion, but we don't want emotion to play with our guys. So we'll try to just approach that game the way similar to the way we approach other games. And I'm sure there'll be some memories and some things that flash through my mind. But I'm happy to be here, and that's the important thing.
What is your number one priority as you put your stamp on this program?
I think taking a look at the young men that are in the program. Now there's a lot that we have to do, but I tend to meet with those guys and listen to them and have them tell me their view and their perspective based on being here every day. And then we'll kind of assess those. It's been a whirlwind year. I kind of felt like I've been drinking water from a fire hose, with all text messages and calls and people who are genuinely concerned and want to contribute in some kind of way. So I'm going to listen to them, do a lot of listening for a couple of days.
What was the benefit to you in the last 3 years, was there a benefit to stepping away from the pressure of being a head coach? Not that being an assistant coach is not a pressure job, but stepping back in a sense. Was there a benefit to you, or what do you think about it? What effect did that have on you?
I think it had a tremendous effect on me. Being able to look more than anything at a different way of seeing the game. And not a completely different way, because there's some things that they did at Florida, at Alabama, and Chattanooga that we have been doing. But a different way of approaching, that was the first thing. And seeing how because when you're running a program yourself, we're all playing games during the same months and practicing during the same times. And you don't get a chance to really look and see a lot about how somebody else is doing it. And anytime you get a chance to do that, there's a tremendous benefit. More when I was a high school coach, we went to clinics and we had an off season where we could go to other people's practices and games, and you get to a college level and it's so competitive that people hang on tightly to what they're doing and how they see the game and how they approach the game. And I think the other thing is being at a place like Alabama, big athletic department, big resources, and then going from there to Chattanooga, which wasn't, we weren't flying school planes and the like. So it was a pretty good balance of intercollegiate athletics.
Going to the NCAA tournament last year, Chattanooga, what do you take away from that experience to help get this program back to that?
Well, I think there's some similarities in the level of play at Chattanooga. And Chattanooga was a different situation. We walked into a really good situation in terms of the talent that was on the team. Not that we don't have talent that's on the team here, but we walked in early. It's the spring, and the roster was pretty well set. But I think there was a lot of similarities. And going through a season, just in terms of gauging, it's February and days off and things like that, and then preparing for, the NCAA tournament, our conference championship game, and then a week later, the selection show. So just seeing our schedule was different that way, and it's similar that way here in the Metro Atlantic in terms of the timing of the conference tournament and having that week and what days off and how to prepare, and scouting multiple opponents for the NCAA tournament. Those were all good things for me to be a part of.
Made any decisions on the coaching staff?
No, but I've had a lot of telephone calls too. I think we're going to take our time with that a little bit and just kind of give me a chance to certainly talk to the people who are on staff here. I have some people in mind, but we're going to take our time with that.